Good afternoon. So let's have a continuation for the part three, planning techniques and tools and their application. So the objective is the learner should be able to apply the appropriate planning techniques and tools. First is the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart is the horizontal toolbars developed and production tool in 1917. So Henry Gard, I already explained that in the previous video, diba? That I let you see how Gantt chart is be done if unsa ang porma sa Gantt chart. You have this. Gantt chart is constructed in horizontal representing the time span of a project broken into increments. Sabot putol siya na dapat naa siya ma-attain siya every week or every day depending on the plan. If for example, a certain activity will be done in a week, dapat from Monday to Sunday before the day of the event, dapat ma-attain na siya. So gibay buak-buak siya. That is Gantt chart. So in marketing pa naman na example, sige putol-putol siya pasabot ana, diri pa siya nagtrabaho, siya pa una. Kasunod ipasa indemnity tabangan na siya ani, antod mahuman na gyud diri. So naa siya part kung asa mosunod, on what part siya mosunod. So milestone chart. Milestone chart is graphically embodies the importance of time scale or life of a project in every activity. So these are the sample for milestone chart. So naa siya yung mga period, these are periods, progress, to show the progress of such activities or project. Okay. Next is critical path method. The CMP is developed by DuPont. So first applied in the missile defense. So CMP has been issued by other hardware and software. Usually these are the things to be done or summarized. Identify the mandatory, construct the diagram, the name of conditions, and each of these things. So these are the examples of critical path. So makita nimo on how the things be done in the organization. Okay? So decision trees are is complete in graphical visualization under the condition of risk, which permits the managers to make a diagram of outcomes and different alternatives. So these are the sample. These are the sample of decision trees. So whether you like it or not, it's a yes or no. So depending on the situation, whether he accepts or not to accept, and the possible consequences among of these options. So payback analysis. So it's N, ha? It's not M. It's N. It's N. Analysis. It's payback analysis. So payback analysis comes with a handy. The manager needs to decide whether a purchased piece of equipment or not. So, na say example, payback period ang sa kuan pa is annual net cash flow. So, na ba kay in return investment? Na ba kay return ROI? Return investment if you purchase a certain equipment and machineries, pila yung balik nimo? So, of course, you analyze those things. If makabawi ba or dili, cansi ba or dili. Okay? Simulation is a model building of type activity that tries to mimic an existing simple manner. Pasabot in simulation, quiet synonymous, quiet synonymous to the existing product or service. Mao. So, kung ano na sa, if mao na may tabo, mao na ang actual. So, it's a mimicking side. Makaingon ka kuha kay niya. Okay? So one of those examples in a practical simulation, training is understandable. Process improvements to improve the existing. Predicting outcomes, of course, when you say predicting outcomes, you already know what to do or what will happen in the future. So you predict, nag-anticipate na ka kung sa mga may tabo. And lastly is managing risk. When you say managing risk, of course, there are possibilities, there are things that's beyond your control. And when you manage risk, you find alternatives, you find ways on solving if there might be negative result of a certain action. Okay. Then this one is benchmarking. When you say benchmarking, the benchmark, when you say benchmarking, kuan po na siya. It's a process of calculating the organization internal process of identifying and understanding the practices from one organization considered to be best in class. When you say benchmarking, ano ni? Naki-connect ka from one organization to another organization. So, same vision mo duha. So, these are the things in benchmarking in a best way, best practice, peer benchmarking, SWOT, and collaborative benchmarking. Ang kaya indot mo sa benchmarking kay despite of different organization mo, still you are working in one goal, one vision. So tinabangay mong duha to attain this mission and vision nga to achieve. So same purpose mo, you are being benefited and the other one is still benefited. So that is benchmarking. So the nature of organizing. The second part or the second functions of management is organizing. Organizing is a group of individuals who communicate and cooperate with each other in view of a common goals and objective. In other words, organization may be defined operatives amongst group of people by working in the system of presenting the common goals. Okay? In organizing is a process of making strong relationship between work departments and appropriate so that the workforce or the contribution goals and objective. So in organizing, the objectives are from planning, understandable, understandable idea, duties concern, understandable area of authority, and should be prepared where how it being acquired. In organizing, it is a proper directions of the construction of the organization. That is why in functional management, it is the second function, planning, okay, and organizing. Next, staffing, directing, or leading, and controlling. Okay, remember that. The concept of organizing, so structure, relationship, group, individual, process, means at an end, essential function of management, connected and effective without communication. And when you say structure of relationship, the big number of workforce required, the organization to create a structured relationship to establish harmony and synchronization among departments. A group of individuals, there's no organization, it's a group of unite each other. So there should be unity, there should be camaraderie within or among its member. Then process, there should be division of works. When you say division of works, it's a dissemination and distribution of functions or distribution of jobs to make things easy. O dili mo pwede ang kunon tanan. It should be properly distributed in order to attain the same mission and the same goal to be successful. Okay? So, organizational chart. It is a diagram of visions of the organizational structure. So, ang sample ana is president, yan ay under niya. So, ana. Makita na ninyo. So, this is your number three activity. Activity ha. Remember, number three is to take picture of PCC or chart and ipakita nako or post or take selfie and send it in the GC. Okay, that's for number 3. Activity ninyong buhaton. Okay, there are 2 principles of organizing. First, authority is given, authority and span of control. So these are the principles and of organizing. When you say authority, there should be right, and span of control, up to what extent ang imong control or imong right. Okay? So line of authority, staff authority, partial authority. These are the 3 main types of authority that exist in the organization. So these are the example. Wala na, flat structure, directly na siya. The division of works, organizational process. So, I discussed it naman sa previous sa kung awalan to, ang answer ani. Okay, so division of work is properly distributed. Ang functions, dili ako unta na. Departmentation, it should be properly clustered based on the things that is needed. So for lesson 2, the types of organizational structure. So these are functional organization usually. It is done in a huge corporation. Yung mga head na sila, inabot na sila yung mga under ng mga tao. So napod na strength, weakness, anong it is being done, and anong dili. So you read that. It's very understandable naman. So customer organizational structure, masabtan ra na ninyo siya, kana din ha, ang ano nahitabo na, you understand those strength and weakness. The structure, weakness. So, delegation, we see delegation is defined as assignment of responsibility. Ipasa nimo ang trabaho, i-delegate nimo ang trabaho towards imong members. Dili kayo apuhon nimo tanan. Ha? So, fixing the advantages. So, delegation is assigning responsibility towards people. You read that. I'll give you the freedom to read that to check whether inyo nang gibasa or dili. Since masabtan naman po na. It is part of the year exam. So you need to read that. Basta ang core sa delegation is ipasa, i-delegate, i-transfer ang responsibility or i-manage nimo. You let your people work. So that's the purpose of delegation. So elements, sabta na assignment of duties, grant authority, creation of the obligation, and steps of delegation. So you read that. Will come out to the exam. Kanang 9 ka book. And obstacles is the problems na ma-encounters delegation. So you read that. So basic na kayo na. Ang formal o informal. You say formal, kana ng mga organizations na crafted and registered. Remember that, formal na kung registered. Nga ang informal, naman mo ni mga features, you read that. Ang sa mga advantage, sabta na ang informal, kanang himo ra gani. Kamukha mo rin nag-create, wala siya gi-register. Kamukha mo ra. And not registered. Muna ang informal organization. I-create lang mo ra gud na sa inyong classroom, nag-create mo og GC nga kamukha mo ra. Pero ang formal mo na sa inyong officers. Okay? Do you read that? Mga disadvantage, advantage. Ako na siyang i-summarize. So, that is the end of the discussion for prelim. So make sure you properly watch this video discussion so that you can answer all the things that I required. Tulo to ka buok, and you need to submit it on Monday. For first for Monday schedule and Tuesday for TTH schedule. And do I make myself clear? And afterwards, I'll be posting it in the Google Classroom. Okay, thank you and have a nice